saying he did something wrong. I'm saying, are you even familiar with what he did? You said you got full confidence in what he does?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you're going to tell me something different.
Oh, okay. So you're not familiar with what happened in my case? I don't even know what you guys' jurisdiction is. I tried to get that information from Chris and I couldn't get it.
Okay, in terms of jurisdiction, we handle Montgomery County. Anything that happens in Montgomery County, we take those cases. We also have taken cases in Greene County, and Miami
Well,
County.
I'm not talking about like a geographical jurisdiction. I'm talking about what do you have the power to do as far as the NAACP when injustice is involved?
Once you sign a consent form, when you go down there and you sign off on a consent form, and it sounds like you got the wind in there again or something.
No, I was walking out to my trash can. I live on 3rd Street. I was walking out to my trash can. I live on 3rd Street. It was some cars going by right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of our process, you fill out a complaint form. When you fill out that complaint form, that gives us the opportunity to go and talk to the respondent. That's whoever you allege has done you wrong. Gives us the authority once you sign off on that form. If it's something that Chris feels that we need to get the Ohio Civil Rights involved into, then he will get them involved. And then typically they would then get the EEOC involved. But this does not sound like a employment case. This sounds like a child custody case.
No, you're saying what it sounds like, but do you know what it really is?
It's a child custody case because that's what you said inside your email to me.
No, it was I'm talking about misconduct of a civil employee. That's what I think it is. That's what I was asking. I mean, Chris was involved at first and he knew all of the facts, and then all of a sudden when the people did not respond back to him, he told me there is nothing he could do. Because see, like what you're saying did I have a credible complaint? Chris felt that I had a credible complaint. Chris was pursuing the complaint. When the respondents didn't respond to him, I can't hear you now. It sounds like a lot of movement.
No, I'm not moving. I'm standing still.
Oh, I just heard a lot of noise. Are you listening?
Yes, I am listening. That's probably our state president taking another phone call.
Oh, okay.
But now I can hear you, and if I can interject this, I don't know whether it will kind of expedite. But when you come into the first to the NAACP and you fill out your complaint form, our whole purpose is to see if we can bring up. We do not automatic legal authority to go in.
Could you hold for one moment, please?
Any kind of decision.
Okay, you don't. Okay, now you saying I didn't expect you guys to be able to just overstep the bounds of the law. I'm saying the law has been broken in deciding the custody of my child. I was being accused of bringing a fictitious document into a court hearing, and I didn't get charged with that, but they didn't use that as admissible evidence. They dismissed it, but the caseworker was instructed to take that evidence into court as well as myself, and he didn't do it, and he had the courts to not enter it in as evidence, and that was a crucial part of the case because it was complaints against the caseworker from FAIR, on-grounds ombudsman at Children's Services.
Okay, so when you're doing that, again, you stepped into a legal arena where if you already had the court system already involved, then the NAACP, if we had been a part of whatever was an original, say if someone had come into your home and there had been an original complaint, Then again, our purpose would be to bring about a resolve or to try to get both parties at the table to get an understanding.
That's what I wanted. Both parties coming to the table. I agree with you totally. That's what Chris wanted. But when the respondents did not respond to Chris, Chris said, well, I can't do anything because they're not calling me back. And when he had a conversation with one of the parties, Chris said, I don't agree with what they don't even have an answer for what they've done. And then all of a sudden, when they don't call Chris back, Chris says that's the end of the line. That's all he can do. So all I wanted was both parties to come to the table, and I would have liked for us to have that recorded, just like at the fair grievance meeting against that caseworker with both of his supervisors there. That's all I want. I want witnesses, and I want my day to stand before this man and ask him why my children's shots are not up to date and why he put down on records that they were up to date when they are not up to date.
Okay.
I have proof of all this.
But you're still dealing with a legal arena.
Okay, so you guys don't institute justice when there's a legal arena. You just now said you're supposed to bring all the tables to all the respective parties to the table.
We said that I said, and let me be real clear, that we make contact to try to bring them. See, there's already some type of breach going on. So what we try to do, we have the ability to try to bring about a negotiation, to try to bring about a resolve. But you could refuse to come to the table, and they could refuse to come to the table, and we don't have the legal ability, unless the only time we have the legal ability to go beyond that is if, in fact, we look at what is going on, and we can look at the N.A.A.C.P mandates, and it is approved from the national office as a legal for legal involvement, and that usually comes after there's a comparison where it's a violation of, say if the kids were...
We're talking about a caseworker's conduct in court. He's in court making false statements and documents. Ma'am, I'm telling you what I have proof of.
Okay.
He made false documents. He made false documents in court. And false statements, and they're documented. And then the agency is saying one thing. In other words, the agency is saying that I cooperated with everything that I was supposed to do, and they don't know why I don't have my children, and they haven't gotten out of my business. On the other hand, the caseworker is telling the courts that I did not cooperate with anything, and he said that I did not allow the mother to visit with the children when in fact we had visits at the agency. That can be proven because we had to sign in at every visit. So he flat out went to court and perjured me. He said I did not have an income. I can prove that. That is in the court documents. I kept my kids a year. I did not get any child support from that mother. That is in the documents. You are not supposed to be placing children with someone that doesn't have an income as opposed to someone that does have an income. This man went to court and lied about my income. He perjured and slandered me. Is that not a violation of my rights?
But those are things, sir, that require legal, because all of that is within a court. It's always in the legal arena.
Okay, so if we
if there's
so injustices through the court system is not handled, the N.A.A.C.P doesn't get involved in stuff like that. So if a legal system, if the justice system just flat out doesn't work and is contrary to what the truth is, there is no justice there for the people.
No, that's not true.
Well, that's what's happening.
You have to have an attorney. We don't have the financial means to provide you with an attorney.
No, I didn't ask you guys to do that. Did you hear me in my conversation? Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. You said that you wanted to bring everybody to the table. I never said I needed anyone to finance me an attorney. I never asked for that.
No, I'm saying from what you said was done to you has been a violation of the law, which requires an attorney.
But is that not my civil rights being violated as well?
Well, not. We do have a legal redress committee, but for attorney,
I'm not asking for one.
Either secure your own attorney, or
So because I can't,
legal aid attorney.
so ma'am, because I can't afford an attorney, the NAACP is not in place to try to right these types of wrongs. And no,
provide an attorney.
I didn't ask, ma'am.
That will do.
You're misunderstanding.
But I don't know that. I don't know. I'm not aware of the attorneys there that would do that.
I'm not asking for an attorney, ma'am.
Okay. Well,
What I'm saying is, I'm being wronged by the judicial system, period. And I thought that's why the NAACP was in place, for when things just go all the way off. That's like Chris recommended that I go down there and report that I got excessively beat up by the police. It was excessive force or whatever. I didn't want to go do it. Chris basically told me to go down there, and he called Lieutenant Huber, got him on the phone, and just put the pressure on me and said, well, man, you got to go down there now. I called him. That's the reason they beat me up the first time, because I went and told something at the Internal Affairs on the police. I didn't want to do it, and he went and said, well, if there's something wrong, it'll get investigated. I mean, there's something wrong all the way through. These people beat me up. I didn't have a resisting charge, and they paid $6,500 in my doctor bills. And Lieutenant Huber retired, and they said ain't nothing they could do about it, and there's no attorney that's going to take that case, because they're not going to go against the city like that. And that's what I thought the NAACP was for.
Did you try to get an attorney, and the attorney told you that?
Yes, ma'am. There is no case. Time limits of,
Well, I don't live in Dayton, but I travel across the state of Ohio, and for an attorney to have
there is no.
something, I'm not saying that you have an attorney that's going to do it free.
No, I didn't say free.
But,
I said
an attorney that would look at a police report where the police has validated that their own people have broken the law, and then that same police tell you that there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, basically the internal affairs of the police department is telling me there's nothing they could do. Everybody in the city is telling me, oh, well, the caseworker didn't turn in the paperwork to the courts in a timely manner like he was told. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. But so basically everyone's telling me that there's nothing that could be done about a caseworker that was told by an on-ground ombudsman to turn in some paperwork to a court hearing. He didn't do it, and there is no recourse for that.
Okay, now I have a question for you, Brother Pascal.
Okay, brother. That's kind of unprofessional, sir, but I'll grant you on that.
What kind of unprofessional?
No, I just said I'm not. You know, I haven't never seen you, and you calling me brother. But I understand.
And you think that's unprofessional?
Oh no, I don't. I don't. Okay, I just want to hear what you had for me. What was the question, sir?
I can say Mr. Pascal.
Okay, sir. I don't. It's not important how you address me. What's your question for me?
Okay. So President McNabb has already stated that in terms of, now, it sounds like Chris has done a lot of work, on behalf of your case. I have talked to Chris about this case. Chris has been to court with you. He's talked to...
No, Chris hasn't been to court. Okay, so now you're telling me that Chris been to court with me, and I asked you before if you knew anything about this case. So, Chris has never been to court. What dates? Do you have the dates?
Chris has been to court with you, and I repeated that to our president forward.
Excuse me?
Our state office that Chris been to court with you, so if...
Chris hasn't been to court with me. Chris has not been to court with me. Do you have that documented? Do you have a document where Chris has been? I haven't even been to court. And then the lady just said, if you guys would have started out being involved in going to court, You know, it'd have been a different story. Then you guys say that you don't go to court. I mean,
First of all, I did not say that. What I said to you is when it first happened, if we had been involved when the incident first happened.
well, when did it happen? When
you
did
called
it get
the
involved?
state office, and the secretary there, which her name is Miss Miss Radford, which does not know you, and she was just giving me the list of the calls that came in, and it printed it down. That's the only way I knew that Chris was
And
involved.
doing what? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that part in there. You said making them calls and doing what? Sound like somebody you was chewing gum or something. I didn't hear you. Sound like you said. I didn't hear that. Like you said, I put you guys down.
The office was called, and the information via telephone from you, because I would not have any way of knowing you or anything about any case, and it had not come to my office. And at that time, you said you had been to court, but he wasn't able to do anything. And you were elevating it to the state level. And at that time, I had given information for her to let you know that if you're not have gone to the local and there's something that's an unreadiness or you're not satisfied, I asked if you had gone and spoken to the president, but you said you had not. And I suggested that you go and talk to President Forward.
This is my first time.
Go from there.
This is my first time speaking with Mr. Forward.
And it may be, but I'm telling you what happened with me.
Well, I don't even. I've never spoke with you, ma'am. I don't even know what the relevance of that.
I'm through with the conversation. I know that I did. You called the office in Columbus, Ohio, and that's the only way I would even know anything about this. I would have no way of pulling something out of the air.
Okay, so basically what you guys answer is there's nothing that could be done about the injustices that have been done to me.
There's nothing that the N.A.A.C.P can do at this time concerning what you have presented, as from what I have heard.
So why would Chris have worked on my case and went to court if I didn't have a viable case?
You just asked me a question, and Mr. Forward, I don't know where, do you have anything else? Mr. Forward, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. What I'm saying is that at this time, what I have said, from what I can hear and understanding, that we have done what we can do as far as assisting him. My suggestion would be that he would seek legal assistance.
I've already said that to you, ma'am, and they are not willing to even get involved in this because it is a very, very sticky situation where there are conflicting stories by an agency and the caseworker. And I have all the paperwork. Chris have seen it. Why would Chris even pursue my case if there wasn't a reason? Is Chris didn't Mr. Ford say didn't you say you had confidence in what Chris' decisions were? So if he decided to pursue the situation, didn't that mean that there was some type of violation as far as being done to me by the system?
No, does not mean that. We do what we do because we are in a position that we are going to investigate any case that is presented to us, and then if there's a lot of noise in the background.
No, there's no noise in my background, sir.
I can hear it. It must be on the line because it sounds like there's a group of people talking. But sometimes when I move my phone, and maybe it's because we got three lines.
Okay, I'm listening to you. I'm waiting for your answer, Mr. Ford. You lost your chain of thought?
We will investigate every case that comes to us, and Chris will evaluate the case, and if Chris will do whatever he can to assist and try to bring about a resolve. If he cannot bring about a resolve, then he's going to do exactly what President McNabb has said to you, that legal counsel. If legal counsel says that they won't help you, that's not our issue at that point in time. So he has spent a considerable amount of time investigating Chris about your case. Chris has contacted each one of the respondents, each agency that you have referred to him that's giving you attention. So,
And then what happened? What was the result of that?
At the end of the day, I don't have all of the results in front of me. You would need to talk to Chris about that.
No, you just now told me that you know about it. You said that Chris went to court with me, which Chris didn't go to court with me.
Mr. Pascal, I am not going to debate with you on the phone. I said, Mr. Pascal, I am not going to debate with you on the phone. You've asked.
Can I meet with you in person then?
I answered your question.
No, I'm saying, can I meet with you in person then?
Chris will handle your case.
Well, Chris said he can't do anything, and then the state office told me Chris wasn't supposed to be handling my case in the first place.
No, the state never told you that.
So you never talked
Okay.
to the state. See, so there's a conflict right there. You said you never talked to the state.
I didn't say I never talked to the state.
Okay.
I called both. I called the local Columbus and the state
I tell you what I'm going to do.
location.
I'm going to, I'm sorry that you're disappointed in the effort that the NAACP has placed forward. We have tried to do our best. And so maybe at this time, the better thing for if you can find someone that can offer or can bring about the type of results that you're needing, we wish you the best. But at this time, there is nothing else that we are able to do as a volunteer organization to assist in your concerns.
Okay,
Now,
so basically,
there are other legal entities, and there's
okay. I'm not really. The only legal thing that I'm talking about is that there's a caseworker that did not do what he was supposed to do, and there's an agency that said that he didn't do what he was supposed to do, and the courts know that he didn't do what he was supposed to do, but my children have been removed from my care and placed with someone that they shouldn't be placed with, and the caseworker's decision made all of that happen, and the caseworker violated my civil rights.
That's all part of a legal arena that we are not able to address.
So you guys don't get involved when courts, NAACP cannot address legal issues when injustices are...
These are not legal. This is a personal family issue with your children. We're not
So you guys help people that are not people of families?
I'm not going to agree with however you're labeling this organization.
No,
this is the oldest and the strongest civil rights organization in this country. Work speaks for itself. What we're able to do, we do it, and we do it with pride, and we do it well. When we do have our
So what do you guys do? Could you give me an example of what you guys consider a successful case? Could you guys...
And I do wish you the best.
Hold on, ma'am. I'm trying to learn about the NAACP. Could you give me an example of a successful NAACP
intervening? Because I have a husband that has just come in, and I've got to do dinner. And that's where I am. I thought that it was just going to be a short conversation, but we have done, and it appears that and I have confidence in the state, in the Dayton office. The Dayton office is one of the strongest and most impactful units in the state of Ohio.
What is their purpose? I had asked you guys for a mission statement. Could you mail me? Could you guys mail me? Could you guys mail me some literature from the NAACP? Could you mail me, like, say you guys' mission statement or you guys' purpose?
Mr. Ford, President Ford, can you put together a package of and just let it be in general and with what those things, and I leave it to your discretion, and mail it and see that it's mailed to Mr. Casco within the week, say by this time next week, so that he'll have that information. He can study it. And also he can put forms in there of how he can become a. Because we're not perfect, and if you want to know anything about it, we're public, but we're volunteer. We don't get paid for doing this. We do this.
No, I never asked you guys if you got paid. All I wanted was like a packet of papers explaining you guys' mission statement. That's what I like, a mission statement from you guys.
Get a mission statement. Somebody
From the office.
Chris didn't have one. Chris didn't have one, sir.
Well, I will make certain that Chris has one, so if you stop back by the office, I'll let Chris know that we've had this conversation, and I'm about to get off the phone. President McNabb is about to get off the phone. We wish you well. I will tell Chris to get that information to you, so if you go by the office, he can give you a copy of one of our Freedom Fund books that has our mission statement in our Freedom Fund books. So with that, may the Lord bless you, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Good night. Good night.
They some ghetto characters, boy. You hear that? I got all that recorded. That's why I